He said that if there was anyone he would want to connect with outside of the show, it would be Anayia. But clearly it was more than just KC that was into Anayia. And clearly it was more than just KC finding Anayia attractive. So Sean on After Sun last night really was like a bomb to a lot of these bad takes about Anayia. Hello everybody, I am here for my weekly roundup of Love Island USA. Gonna watch some clips today, see other takes going on with the show, similar to how I did last week. The biggest debate seems to be Soul versus Melanie. And is Soul being bullied? Why did she cry? Is she being shunned by everybody, or did she shun herself? That definitely seems to be the biggest debate. I mean, I do think the problem between them right now is Sincere. Sincere is definitely a big problem because he is a big liar. But let's listen to some of these takes to start.
Now, with Kenzie and Melanie currently beefing, I don't know if this was necessarily coming from a good place. Regardless, though, Kenzie confirmed to me that there was some type of isolation happening in that villa regarding Soul. And Kenzie confirmed this by saying she doesn't want anyone in the villa to feel left out. And of course, my queen, Beatriz, what would we do without you? Her saying that some of those pies could have gone to Melanie? Okay. I mean, what more proof do we need for us to know that there's some wicked things going on in that villa and Soul is receiving it? The people forget so easily how Melanie treated Kata when she first came in that villa, all because Sincere pulled her for a chat. I never forgot.
Now, there is context clues here that there is something going on with Soul. Maybe she really is not a part of the group. Maybe that is why certain words said during Kenzie's conversation with Soul made it seem like Soul doesn't really have anyone in the villa, although Kenzie definitely had her own agenda when it came to that conversation. And then with the whole pie thing and Beatriz saying that some of the pies should have went to Melanie instead. People think the guys are protecting their girls right now in these challenges, which is very possible, that all these couples are just too locked down, so locked down, except for Sincere. I do think that when you look within the edits, because as we talked about on Friday, the edit right now is terrible. This is a terribly edited season so far, somehow even worse than last season, I think. So there is a lot of reading between the lines that we have to do. And so I can definitely see how people are coming to this conclusion about Soul versus the rest of the group, versus the girls at least. Kata also got some crap for laughing when Soul was pied before she cried. But some people thinking that Kata knows what it's like to be a bombshell. Maybe Soul's just not doing her job.
People trying to act like Kata is a villain for laughing when the pie got smashed in Soul's face. Do you not realize that Soul came as a bombshell? And so did Kata. Kata knows what it takes to be a bombshell. Do you know she can't just cry? She can't show weakness. You're a bombshell. You know you just took someone's man, and you haven't spoke any words to the girl whose man you took. I mean, Kata's not the bad guy in this situation just because she laughed. I probably would have laughed too.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Kata can get shit for laughing during a challenge, but I also agree that, like, you can't show weakness when you come in as a bombshell because, yeah, it's your job to break up a couple, so you got to come in tough. That's how Kata came in, one of the better women bombshells in a while, actually. There were some good ones last season, though, too. But, you know, not everyone is an ice queen like Kata. People are still human. Of course, Soul's going to get emotional. Talking about how she hates the villa already, though, it's a little soon for all of that. I do think Soul might be too emotional to be a bombshell. But Soul does have her defenders out there because some people are confused as to why Soul is getting hate in this situation when the situation was toxic between Melanie and Sincere before Soul got there.
If you don't like Soul, like, can someone please explain to me why? Like, I truly do not understand. And I feel like we haven't seen enough of her and her personality and her scenes to even like come up with this idea that you don't like her. We don't even know enough. I just feel like we need to give her some grace. Like, she's being a bombshell and doing what a bombshell needs to do, and it's not even like she's moving disrespectfully. I'm confused. Melanie and Cecilia are obviously the most messiest couple right now, so it doesn't even matter who gets in between them. They're going to end up having to deal with that mess. It's like, no matter who it is, they're being set up. This is all Sincere's fault. This is all Sincere's fault.
I mean, I do think that if it is true that Soul is being shunned, I do think Sincere has a lot to do with it, because Sincere is lying to Melanie, or was lying to Melanie, about what he was doing with Soul. He was downplaying it all, then going to Soul, still testing things with her, keeping them separate. And I don't think Soul wanted to talk to Melanie, but Melanie did want to talk to Soul at one point, and Sincere was like, nah, don't do that. It's not a good time. And it probably wasn't a good time, but it's also like Sincere's trying to keep his little secret over there, and that's Soul. And then if Sincere's talking to the guys too about the Soul situation, I just feel like Sincere has helped create a mess for Soul, if there is a mess for Soul in that villa.
Production is cutting how the cast is treating Soul. I feel like the entire cast is alienating Soul, and Melanie is was being an emotional terror towards her. And I feel like production cut a lot of that. Like, I feel like when Melanie was on the stand, when she was vulnerable, she kind of revealed that she was kind of getting at Soul, was trying to come for her, and was just like, oh, this beef is over. Meanwhile, Soul didn't do a thing to you.
I mean, some people are reading into what Melanie said at the end of that episode, that the beef is over, that maybe that meant that they had arguments that we didn't see, or fights we didn't see, which is of course possible with this shitty editing. But it also could have just meant like, I'm bowing out of this love triangle. It might not have been as bad as people are trying to make it out to be. Because yes, we have to read between the lines, but making too many dramatic assumptions doesn't really do anything well either.
I feel as though that Sincere, of course, was alienating Soul in a way where Melanie wouldn't be able to speak to her. And by transit of property, Melanie is now, having all of her original girls on her side.
But this is when the assumptions just go too far for me, because I don't think we can sit here and say for 100% fact that all of the girls are bullying Soul, because of the accusations last season that were fallacies about mean girls and bullies. The fans take things too far. Until I see some real bullying with my own eyes, I hate the word bullying on reality television. It gets so overused when most of the time that's not the case at all. So when people start getting and saying that, like, all the girls, Melanie has her girls, and they're all shunning Soul, we do not know that for a fact. And as we go along in this video, we're going to hear how people talk about Anayia in a positive light. The people that have been eliminated from the game on the After Sun last night. I just don't believe there's a like big bullying going on against Soul. Do I think that she maybe is being outcasted to an extent? Yes. Do I think that she maybe played some part in that though too? Yeah, I do, but let's listen to some more opinions.
The boys chose to pie Soul 3 times to make the other girls feel better, and you'll never be able to convince me of a motherfucking thing else, okay? They continued to pie Soul because they wanted to make the other girls feel better, because Soul did not deserve all of those pies. Now, personally, would I cry if I was pied multiple times? Absolutely not, because she wasn't the only person that was pied multiple times. Kenzie was also pied multiple times. But did all of those pies deserve to go to Soul? No, and they kept using her as a scapegoat. It's not fucking funny. One of the last ones was like, oh, breaking girl code or guy code. They pied Soul. And
I do think Melanie could have been pied for the breaking girl code for sure, because we've seen her pull other guys' men. We see her pulling Kenzie, and yeah, she hasn't done, kiss them, I guess. But for someone that was just so up in arms when her guy was pulled for one conversation, or he pulled Kata for one conversation, there is a hypocrisy there, and there is some breaking of girl code where Melanie is concerned. I do feel like Soul was probably getting way too many of the answers, and Melanie maybe not enough. But of course there's going to be more of an allegiance from the OG castmates to other OG castmates, and not to the girl that just came in a couple days ago. I still think crying during a challenge, to me, it makes me feel like Soul did not really understand what she was getting into. Like, this is what bombshells gotta do. And you can't show this kind of weakness from jump. Her doing this crying when Kenzie, we saw with our own eyes, actually got pied a lot. I don't know. I just, it's hard for me to feel sorry for a bombshell for some reason, especially one that just got here. And I also think that this is a kind of accurate take on the situation.
In my past video, I said that something about Soul just gives me like bad vibes. I know everybody's like, oh my god, she's a bombshell. That's what she's supposed to do. Do the bombshells not see the episodes before they like enter the villa? So she knew. She still chose to say, I'm not going to tell her about the kiss unless you tell her about the kiss, knowing he might have never told her about the kiss if he had the chance. I've been watching Love Island since 2016. I watched season 1 of UK as a freaking 15-year-old. Had no business watching it, by the way. Bombshells have always been like quite respectful. Like, even Andrena, when she came into the villa, she's like, I'm taking your man. Like, she had conversations with the girl, because that's just what you do, you know? Like, it's not girl, it's just like respect. You're gonna be living with these people, you want to have good rapport with them. Like, unless you're going in there to build drama and like be isolated and have everybody hate you, like nobody wants that. So the way that she's moving just doesn't make sense to me, and that's why I just think she's so used to being like a side. Like,
I agree. Soul is acting like a side chick. She is acting like a side chick in this thing with Sincere. Her entire approach to it is to get played by Sincere. And the good point made in this last video is the bombshells get to watch the episodes before they enter. She knew how volatile it was between Sincere and Melanie already. So maybe she's afraid of what Melanie is going to do if that's the man that she's going for. But like, you can't then cry about it when that's what happens, when Melanie is upset, when Melanie and Sincere still do have a connection. Like, Soul was kissing that man multiple times without having a conversation with Melanie. She was 100% acting like a side chick. And all that being said, though, I don't think it makes Melanie less of a crazy person. I still think that Melanie is a crazy person in that house. And a lot of her antics are getting tired to me, for sure. But one of the other big things that happened this past week was Sincere's mother talking about how she's crazy too. So Sincere's used to this.
I do think that him and Mel are going to end up back together because I'm psycho. So he deals with me regular.
I mean, this is crazy to me. I just can't fathom that you're watching your child on television stuck in something that looks like it's a toxic relationship from jump, and you're just like, well, I'm like that too, so is this something Sincere's going to be drawn to? And it's like, wow, mother, don't you think that maybe you are a part of the problem as to why Sincere is now doing what he's doing in that house too, and actually just making things worse?
Now I'm starting to feel bad for Sincere, because you have to deal with your mom who acts psycho. No wonder he acts like that. He's over here scared of Melanie because he's seeing his damn mother. That's why he doesn't want to be straightforward with his answers, and he's a people pleaser to anyone he talks to because he's used to it. He was raised by it. This makes so much sense. Melanie is almost a comfort to him. We're over here trying to save Sincere from Melanie. Like, oh my gosh, they're so toxic. He's scared of Melanie, this and that. He likes that because he was raised by it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Sincere is probably used to this if his mom is saying this. It does not make me feel sorry for Sincere, though, nor do I think it needs us to be like, it's not Sincere's fault. This is the way he was raised. He is still a grown adult now, actively choosing to go about this Soul and Melanie thing the way that he is going about it. I do hope that this is not our main storyline for another week, but it probably will be. Stuck on repeat, watching repeats. Let's move on from this subject for now, though. Sean was on After Sun last night, and he was doing a lot of hyping up of Anayia, also proving to us that the edit this season sucks. All of these people talking that Anayia doesn't pull guys, Anayia doesn't talk to other guys, or no other guys talk to Anayia. Well, Sean just shot that all down to shit, because he said that if there was anyone he would want to connect with outside of the show, it would be Anayia. He talked about how she is warm and such a light. And then when another question was asked later in the episode, who was the hottest girl in the villa, he said, Anayia. Wow, I'm so surprised. How could someone with abs be one of the hottest, fittest person in the damn villa? All of this talk about Anayia this season, this is what I've been saying the whole time. I don't know what the agenda is against her. I don't know why people are intimidated about her. I don't know why people are projecting their own insecurities onto her. But clearly it was more than just KC that was into Anayia. And clearly it was more than just KC finding Anayia attractive. So Sean on After Sun last night really was like a bomb to a lot of these bad takes about Anayia when it comes to her not being wanted or not talking to other guys. Also, I've seen way too many straight bitch tits having black guys talking shit about Anayia over the past week about how she's not giving Casey any love in bed at night and some of the other couples are, and how dare she not give Casey a handy like Kata might have been doing to Zach. And I just wish some people would just worry about their own bodies, like, you know, worry about your own bitch tits instead of worrying about Casey getting his dick rubbed. It's kind of weird. And also, like, the black couples on Love Island USA, from what I couldn't recall, do not actually get really sexual in the bed like some of these other couples do. It's not like every couple, every season, is grabbing dick and having sex. That's just not happening. It's usually like a few couples per season. Last season was a little more than usual. But Ace and Shally did not do that last season. Serena and Cordell certainly did not do that the season before. I don't know. There is some takes on Anayia, though, that I do agree with. Like this one about her being the older sibling, which is something me and my girlfriend discussed about her as well at one point.
As sweet and thoughtful as this post from Aniya's sister is, this stood out to me because it low-key confirms what a lot of us been thinking. She's a yes man. And I don't even think it's coming from a bad place either, because it's obviously the role she's had to play growing up with her siblings. So I could see why she probably feels like she has to be like that in the villa. But baby girl needs to realize those ain't her siblings. Those are competition and potential love matches.
Yeah, I do think she's taken on that big sister role in the villa, and that is the way that the reason why she goes around kind of being that person that they all talk to, that they all come to for advice. I do think it is the big sister in her. But you can see that there's 100% an agenda when it comes to Anayia online, because on one hand, when it comes to Aniya's friendship with Melanie, if someone posts about it in a negative light, it gets liked because they'll be saying, Anayia, let's take several steps back from Melanie. This is happening all of the time, that they think that Anayia should not be placating Melanie, which I do agree to an extent. But then on the same apps, if when Trinity's doing it, when they're saying Trinity is such a real ass friend for defending Melanie every single time someone talking shit about her when she's not there, I love her so much, that gets liked too. So when Trinity does it, it's a great thing. When Anayia does it, it's not at all. It's weird. I don't know why this always happens these seasons lately, where you got to choose one black woman who gets all the hate. I guess this season it is unfortunately Anayia. But until she actually does something where I can feel like there's logical arguments for it, I think I'm going to keep defending her. Like when people want to get upset that she is kind of making it Friendship Island, sure. If she's kind of being too much of a pushover, sure. But y'all take it way too far, and then you're hypocrites. This is a good take on KC, though. We need more KC.
At this point, I'm only continuing to watch the show for KC, and that's actually crazy. I'm saying I'm only continuing to watch the show for KC because we're only 9 episodes in. But KC is the only thing keeping me intrigued in this show, and we only see him for like 20 seconds every episode. Like it's crazy. Like, we don't see KC at all.
Yeah, KC needs more of an edit. I'm getting angrier with the edit every episode because it just sucks, and we should be seeing more of the people so that we can get invested in them. And I get that they want the drama to be front and center, but the main drama that they have is running out of gas. So it would be great for them to be able to learn how to make good episodes out of the people that they have. Sean was not the only one on After Sun last night. Bea was on too. We learned just how good of friends Bea and Trinity are. We wouldn't know that by the edit, really. I mean, we could tell that they were close, but besties, not necessarily. But Bea let it be known to all of us that Trinity really, really does like Bryce, saying that Trinity told her, I don't like this number one, number two bullshit. That she's like, there is no number two. Bryce is my number one. Bryce is my only one. So Trinity, not for that number one, number two bullshit. Same bullshit Bryce was doing with Kata being his number two. And so I guess that quells any debate I had about Trinity liking Bryce. It's now Bryce that has to show actions that he likes Trinity, which I think he does to an extent. Let's listen to some takes on Bryce and Trinity. I've said what I've said all week.
Bea is saying that Trinity really likes Bryce on the After Sun, is only focused on him, is so... They still got me. Bryce has to lock in because I feel like he's letting his insecurity rule him. And I'm only going to make an assumption once because it's like I can see it because there's no reason why he would believe Kata likes him. Like he seems like a very logical person, an emotionally mature person to a certain extent. For you to think Kata has anything with you when she's told you directly.
I mean, yes, it was very, very, very dumb of Bryce to do what he did with Kata over this past week. But I do think it was some self-doubts maybe, or some doubts about if Trinity was really liking him.
It just kind of gave self-sabotage to me personally. Like, it didn't give... He was coming from a place of genuine maliciousness and more so insecurity in, their connection because he knows Trinity usually dates within her race, and she feels the same way though. Bryce needs to get over it and that's self-sabotaging because I'm not feeling it. Oh my god.
Yeah, Bryce might be another one just self-sabotaging because of insecurities, thinking that he's not really Trinity's type and that she's going to play him eventually. And to give Bryce a little grace, because I really haven't the past few days, I've called him very stupid because he's been very stupid, but he's the older guy in this cast. And he has not had a lot of love shown to him. So I can understand why he has insecurities that more people are going to come. They might not be into Bryce, but Trinity's type might come, and that guy might be into Trinity. So if Trinity's going to like that guy back, it's not going to be good for Bryce. So Bryce is still human. He does deserve to have his own insecurities. There is theories, of course, a lot of conspiracy theories this past week with the show because we all have to try and read between the lines. But there were two scenes in one of the episodes, the same episode when Bryce started spiraling, that made it seem like maybe Bryce was spiraling because of KC. Because there was one scene at the fire pit when he was kind of looking at Casey very intently, almost jealous that Casey might have been talking to Trinity. And then there was another scene when he was questioning Casey if Casey is really locked in on Anayia. People took that as Bryce is being weird and thinking Casey is not really into Anayia. I think maybe he was checking to see if Casey was into Trinity.
Paying attention to the last episode, episode 8, we see that they're all sitting on the couches, they're talking, and Bryce kind of to the side tells Casey oh, why do you keep talking to my girl? It's almost like you don't like talking to your girl. That plus the scene that everybody is talking about, which is the boys getting dressed in the bedroom, and Bryce is look me in my eye and tell me that you like Anayia, that you're really feeling her, that you're into her. And the read that everybody's getting from it is that oh, I don't really actually believe that you could be interested in Anayia. But I never got that impression. The way I'm reading it is that Bryce thinks that Casey is gonna pull Trinity. Now I'm connecting this to Bryce telling Trinity, I know I'm not your traditional type. The little backhand comment to Casey about oh, you keep talking to my girl. So clearly Casey and Trinity are friends and have conversations, but Bryce is getting insecure about that.
Yeah, these two scenes were in the episode with no other context about them, but it wasn't the same episode that Bryce started spiraling about Trinity and maybe him not being Trinity's type. I don't know why the show would not add that context because God forbid we have another storyline on the damn show. But that is a possibility of why Bryce started spiraling. And if that is why, then I do actually believe that Bryce likes Trinity and is just trying to look out for himself. Last subject. I'm getting tired of Melanie stans already. I don't dislike Melanie. Her shtick is getting old. I don't dislike her yet, but her stance might make me dislike her. Because Bea was on After Sun last night, had some things to say about Melanie, said she would say what she said to Melanie again when they had their fight, said that she thinks Soul and Sincere should be together, while people are crashing out over that. The weirdo Melanie stands.
Beatriz again with her BS, this time in the After Sun. I swear, it's like Bea is paid at this point to just talk shit about Melanie. She still thinks she's the right one in the argument that they had.
Bea was the right one in the argument that they had, because we had 24 hours of Melanie spiraling, and somebody needed to call her out on her bullshit, and that's what Bea did.
And she still somehow thinks Melanie's the one that should have been pied for every single pie that Soul has been pied.
I don't know if she thinks every single pie that Soul is pied for. But, you know, like I said earlier, the whole breaking girls code thing, that does kind of apply to Melanie as well.
You don't like Melanie. She's thinking like, oh, she's calling Melanie on her BS, but excuse me, aren't you the same person that after the fight at the fire pit, you came to her, pulling her for a chat, basically apologizing, making it seem like you were wrong, and you were trying to victimize yourself, and you were like...
And see, this is what I don't like about people that stand crazy people like Melanie, is because they don't actually have critical thinking when it comes to the scenes that we're seeing. Yeah, Bea had another conversation with Melanie to try and clear the air, to try and be the bigger person, because why not? Especially since Melanie didn't want to actually listen to anything the night before and needed 10. But I'm not surprised that Melanie stan is hiding their face when they're giving commentary, because they don't want to be seen for liking crazies. You know, speaking of crazies, we might as well talk about Huda, this video that came out on Monday last week of her actually sneaking into her now ex's ex-girlfriend's apartment, like being a ninja, to go be a crazy person. Melanie stans and Huda stans are starting to have a lot in common. In fact, they're the same exact people, because this last video I played also defends Huda all the time.
Here we go again with the Huda hate, and this time is with Austin. Not surprised, not shocked. He was the first one to make fun of her. He's the first one to call her out during their reunion. I'm assuming like Austin has so much free time that he's having like one-sided beef with Huda.
And I'm not gonna defend Austin. He's always kind of sucked. But yeah, the same people that were Huda stans becoming Melanie fans, not surprised. They gotta stand a toxic crash out. And then you stand these crash outs, and then after the show, they do worse and worse things because there's no accountability. So I hope Melanie doesn't go that route, but her fandom going that route is going to make me dislike her. Last thing, on a fun note, my girlfriend sent me this on Threads, because I don't have Threads, but they was talking shit about Corbin, and how I was talking about how I don't like that Corbin has had all the power so far this season. He is literally the reason that both Bea and Sean went home, because he got to make both decisions, while nobody else has had that much power whatsoever. So someone on Threads was saying, do we think Corbin will be the one to choose the winner of Love Island this season? And then somebody else said, AI is stealing our jobs once again, which I thought was hilarious. But I don't like how production seems to be giving Corbin all these decisions. And if there is a recoupling next time and it's the guy is choosing, then Corbin gets to choose again. So production's really backed themselves in a corner with the Corbin stuff. I just hope production gets their heads out of their asses, because I'm hoping for a better week, because I don't feel like we ended the week on a strong note whatsoever. They want to make Sincere, Melanie, and now Soul like the main drama, and I get it. But we need an ensemble show. We need to see more of these people. We need to see more of these couplings. Even if it's kind of boring, it would be better than seeing the same drama 3 episodes in a row. Because the Sincere and Melanie drama was the same damn thing 3 episodes in a row.